Good morning, everyone. My name is Mighty Stream, and I'm going to do your July the 26th, just for today, in a meditation. I greet you this morning. If you need to reach me, feel free to do so at recoveryofhope21@gmail.com. I look forward to hearing from all of you. The comments down below have just been so encouraging, so thank you very much. Again, I'd like to invite you to my home group, Feel the Love group, on Monday, 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, rather. And I am going to celebrate 30 years on August 28th. That's a Monday. And I would love to meet you. So come on out, put it on your calendar, and nothing too major, just enjoying the fellowship with us as we recover together. July 26th, my stepfather's belated stepfather's birthday. And so I wish him a happy birthday. We still miss him after all these years. Okay, July 26th. This one is for Pops. Unconditional surrender. Help for addicts begins only when we are able to admit complete defeat. This can be frightening, but it is the foundation on which we have built our lives. That comes from the basic text, page 22. Most of us have tried everything we can think of, exerted every ounce of force possible to fill the spiritual hole inside us. Nothing, not drugs, not control and management, not sex, money, property, power, or prestige has filled it. We are powerless. Our lives are unmanageable, at least by ourselves alone. Our denial will not change that fact. So we surrender. We ask a higher power to care for our will and our lives. Sometimes in surrendering, we don't know that a power greater than ourselves exists, which can restore us to wholeness. Sometimes we are not sure that the God of our understanding will care for our unmanageable lives. Our lack of certainty, though, does not affect the essential truth. We are powerless. Our lives are unmanageable. We must surrender. Only by doing so can we open ourselves wide, wide enough for our old ideals and past wreckage to be cleared, wide enough for a higher power to enter. Just for today, I will surrender unconditionally. I can make it as easy or as hard as I choose. Either way, I will do it. Let's take a moment of silence followed by the we version of the Serenity Prayer. Moment of silence now, please. Thank you. God, grant us the serenity to accept the things that we cannot change, the courage to change the things that we can, and the wisdom to know the difference. Just for today, please and thank you. Unconditional surrender, that's a serious topic. Unconditional surrender? That means that it's applied. The spiritual principle of surrender is applied regardless to the circumstances surrounding it, regardless to the energy that you bring to the table or the lack of. Unconditional surrender means that I am going to surrender regardless to how I feel, to the fact that I am powerless, right? That my life had become unmanageable. And whether or not I'm believing today, having faith today, feeling like my relationship with my higher power is great today or not, I'm going to surrender regardless. That's what unconditional surrender means. In a time of war, when you talk about unconditional surrender, that means that that territory, that kingdom surrenders all that it is unconditional. And as a result of this unconditional surrender to a superior power, come on now. So I know you can understand this, right? When two kingdoms are at war and one kingdom chooses to surrender to the other one, unconditional surrender. Now, there can be conditions to the surrender. Our kingdom surrenders to your kingdom. However, for the sake of lost life, right? For the sake of the citizens and trying to preserve their humanity, our kingdom is assimilated into your kingdom as equal, right? Our kingdom is operative, meaning that we still have our utility system, we still have this particular, our medical system. Our citizens lose nothing in the surrender other than being able to say that this is their country. It's no longer their country by name, right? The superior power has authority over that kingdom and you assimilate into that country's name, okay? And so there can be conditions in the surrender, or it can be unconditional surrender. Now, if the superior power says, you know what, no, no, you guys aren't going to keep all of that. You're going to unconditionally surrender and you're going to be completely assimilated into our kingdom, or you will die. We will destroy your people. Okay. So I'm trying to make it clear the difference between in a time of war of surrendered and unconditional surrender, right? So when we throw up the white flag, it is generally assumed that this is an unconditional surrender. You're just going to trust that the superior power has goodwill towards you. And the benefit is that there won't be any loss of life. That applies in recovery in the sense here that hope for us only begins when we are able to have an admittance of complete defeat. It's scary, but on this foundation, our lives are built. Okay? So that means that when I unconditionally surrender to the fact that I'm powerless, whether I'm completely believing it or not, whether I'm feeling the surrender or not, whether today I changed my mind or not, I am completely surrendering, admitting defeat in this arena of life, of trying to manage my disease of addiction. I have to, because if I don't have a complete surrender here, right, an unconditional surrender, where I am saying to my higher power, you are the superior power. You're God. I'm not God. And I've wrecked everything that is going on. I don't have any control over managing my life from day to day. I cannot do it. I cannot do it. So I unconditionally surrender to you. I don't know what that means exactly, but I know that if I try to take back my will, it will be unfavorable for me. In fact, just like a kingdom, it could be devastating. I could actually lose my life. Everything that I have that I consider in that I'm empowered by, my thinking faculties, my systems within my body, right? The endocrine system, um, I don't want to say pulmonary, but the ability to breathe, that system, right? All of my organs, all of the things outside of myself, the jobs, the potential to work, to earn an income, to be a productive, let's just say a productive member of society. So the individual is a society, and then I operate within a society. The ability to have that relationship, all of that can be lost if I do not unconditionally surrender to this one thing, that I am an addict. I suffer from the disease of addiction. I am completely powerless over it, and that my life had become unmanageable. And I make a decision. It brings you to it, right? Wherein the third step is more intentional now. But in this first step, I surrender this unconditionally because I have proof that my kingdom, myself, my thinking, my processes are inferior to God, inferior to my higher power, not to other people, to God, and that I can't manage it. I have proof that I've tried to manage it, and what did I lose? I lost my sanity. I lost my mate. I lost my children. I lost my freedom. Let's go there because we say jails, institutions, and death, right? So I've lost my freedom. I've lost my reputation. No one believes that I'm actually going to follow through on anything I say anymore. I've lost my ability to commune with society. Nobody wants me in their house anymore. If I'm in their house for something, a family member's house for something, they're watching every move I make because I will rob them blind for the next one. So I have all the proof that I need. That's why I tell people when you get in your first step, there's really no struggle here. This is an unconditional surrender. And even though sometimes you might think that, yeah, I need one, you don't go and get one. You don't put one on it just because you think you might need one, because you have all the evidence in the world that you need to support that your life have become unmanageable. All you have to do is look at your credit score, look at your finances, look at your marriage, look at your relationship with your children. I was talking to one guy really tight. He's like a really good friend in recovery. And I was like, do you have children? Thought he, I thought he had said he had a daughter or something. And he was like, yeah, but they don't speak to me. They don't have anything to do with me. Like, man, how crazy is that to still have to suffer that loss after 7, 8 years of being in recovery? Your kids still don't trust you with their children. They still don't want anything. What other proof do we need, guys? That our lives have become unmanageable? So I surrender, and it's unconditional to God, whether I'm having a good day or not. As it ends here, it says, I will surrender unconditionally. I can make it as easy or as hard as I choose. Either way, I will do it because you got everything to gain. And you know that. You got everything to gain. And it might be the kids. More than likely, it's a possibility it's on the table that you might be able to have visitation and actually get custody of them again, or partial custody. It's a possibility that you could actually clean up your credit and pay your bills, and your credit rise, and you might be able to get a car in your name that's not JD by Ryder, some company that is going to charge this ridiculous amount of interest because you're high risk, right? It's very possible. I was amazed the first time I was able to go to a regular car dealer and pay a regular price with a regular loan with a regular interest rate. I was surprised that I had made it that far, right? Yeah, we gain things back. That might be the original motive, but we might come here for something to gain someone back, image back. But eventually, by the time we get into the step work, step 3, we stay for ourselves. I've enjoyed talking to you. I could talk about unconditional surrender for like a whole nother hour. The problem is that I literally can barely see the screen today. So it's difficult to make out words right now, but I know one thing, that eyesight or none, eyesight or none, this recovery thing is so deep in my spirit that even physicality, even physiological things cannot take my joy away. It's not possible. I'm so grateful to be here with you today. My name is Mighty Stream, and I am going to move on to the next meditation, so stay tuned. I would love for you to have a beautiful day on purpose. I absolutely, absolutely, absolutely intend to talk to you soon. Thanks for listening.